We'll figure that out. All
Cool.
right. Cha, we should be live and going for Riziel. Um, yeah, started a little bit late. That was totally my fault. Um, bit of a bit of a technical thing, and then also I did this awesome thing where I didn't read the comics.
You fucking prick.
I just literally just got done reading Bloodshot Salvation number 6. Uh, so
So
yeah, I was a
you're
little
uh, you're
behind on
pretty hard right now, then, right?
that. Well, we will get into the books in a little bit. So people might notice that Josh is not here. I don't remember what he's doing. Something with his kids. Did he tell you?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Family.
Where are that man's priorities? Jesus. uh, so yeah, no Josh tonight, unfortunately. And now everybody leaves. No.
Oh, who's this
Joining
prick?
me, yeah, joining me is Tor. Hi,
Hi guys.
Tor.
Hello.
Um, Tor's been on a few episodes. How many episodes have you done now?
Two. Well, this will be three.
So this will be your third. Okay, cool. Yeah, Tor's guested on a couple episodes prior to our jump to YouTube. And now you're coming on the live show for the first time.
Yeah, it's an experience. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thanks for
Well,
filling in. Appreciate it. Um, so there were a couple newsworthy things that happened. The first one was Daniel Kibblesmith leaving Quantum and Woody,
yeah.
and Elliot Rahal taking over. Um, I don't know. What did you think about that, Tor?
I don't know. I like Elliot's writing so far, so I don't have anything negative about that. I just don't know why Gibble Smith would be off it already. I didn't read that article specifically, just people's comments on it. Um, but yeah, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in a wait and see pattern, holding pattern on it right now. There's not really a whole lot else we can do but wait and see. It does seem weird that Kibblesmith would only do one arc. Um, but you know, I'm glad that they're passing it off to another writer. And the cool thing is, Kibblesmith and Rahal have written together before. They did the Doorman together. They've been friends for a long time.
Okay, so
Um,
they have history.
yes,
Okay.
and so that's part of why it makes sense to me that this is the person that Kibblesmith would hand the baton to. Um, I don't know if it was always intended to go this way or if unforeseen events, because Kibblesmith said something about having ideas and joked about making Elliot use them. So I don't know how much, he had planned out ahead of time. I don't know. I don't know if he was planning to do more and just couldn't. Um, Sometimes things just happen. Um, but yeah, all we can really do is see what happens. Like you said, Tor, I mean, Elliot's written a couple good things. I wasn't a huge fan of the um, Divinity 3 tie-in that he did for Archer and Armstrong, but I don't think that was
Yeah.
his writing as much as it was so like religiously toned, which makes sense with those characters.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if oh, but what I was gonna say is that he did Bloodshot's Day Off, and that was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed that. Has he done other stories since then? I feel like he's had more than two.
Well, he's doing the Ninjak Versus series.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. Which number two comes out later this month?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
that will be coming out this month. One of the comments in the live chat, Alterna CMX fan one, welcome, Alterna CMX fan one. Talking about Kibblesmith doing a Valiant High book. That actually already came out on Comixology, as Sean already answered there. Yeah, that already came out on Comixology as digital only. Did you read that, Tor?
I did not, and I did not know that Elliot had done the writing. And
No, no,
from what I read,
Kibblesmith did the writing on
oh,
Valiant High.
Smith. Okay, my apologies. No, I have not read it, but I saw that they're printing it, so that I'll probably grade it.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it when it comes out in print. I'm glad they're printing it because I keep meaning to try to get around to reading it digitally, and I just don't. So,
Well, and it
um,
does help where you know, what device you use. Like I use my phone a lot. I wouldn't want to read that digitally on my phone. I'd rather, I guess I could do it on my computer, but you know, it's not my go-to.
yeah, yeah, I like having physical comics to add to my collection as well. So that makes a difference for me. Um, but yeah, I mean, so it's just weird to see Kibblesmith already out on Quantum and Woody. I think Rahal is a logical replacement for him, and all we can really do is see how that run goes.
Was there any
Um,
specification as like who would be taking it after Elliot? Um,
um, According to the original post that Elliot made, he's going to be doing issue 6 and 7, and
mhm.
then it was people were asking on Twitter, asking Kibblesmith, and he just said that he's done with the book and it's Elliot's baby now. So I don't
Okay,
know if that means there are only going to be 2 more issues, but we do know that both of the issues that though that issues 6 and 7 are going to tie into Harbinger Wars 2. So it seems
right.
really unlikely to me that they would end the title right as it's tying into another book. And I just feel like there are more stories to tell. So I really hope that this isn't just an excuse to end the title. I'm really hoping that this book continues as an ongoing.
I don't think they'd end it because I remember reading about, you know, the ultra foil variants that they were doing it for the first year or the first 12 issues. And I would think if they initially talked about a 12 issue run, they would at least make an announcement that, hey, you know, this is it.
Maybe it's impossible to say. Um, yeah, I just hope that it doesn't end before that. I'd love to see another 25 issue run or something, but if
Oh,
we can
yeah.
at least get 12, I'll be happy.
Right.
Um, then what was the other thing? There was another big piece of news that's now slipping my mind.
Comics Pro?
Yeah,
Oh,
that.
no. Harbinger Wars 2. It's 6 issues now.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. They changed Harbinger Wars 2 to being a 6 issue series. So it's going to be the 4 issues that they talked about with a prelude and a prologue to make it 6 issues. And originally it was supposed to be 48 pages per issue. Now the 4 issue main part of the story is only going to be 36 pages, if I read
Now,
correctly.
what I read the CBR article, I don't know if you read something else. From that, it only specified the prelude being 32 pages. It didn't say anything else about the rest of the books.
So did I just skim that wrong and maybe I'm talking
Maybe
out of my ass?
because it said starting with the prelude that is 32 pages.
Okay, because I thought I read that it said that they were no longer doing the 48 pages, but if all they're doing is adding a prelude on the beginning and prologue at the end, but everything else is staying the same as what it was originally intended to be, then I don't really feel any reason to worry. I mean, if the
Yeah,
prelude and prologue suck, then we just don't read them, or
yeah,
epilogue
exactly.
rather, not prologue.
I think that's what it'll be. Because in that article I read, it had one of those, I guess, like the teaser images in some of the comics for pre-ordering something at your shop, and you know, it still said the main Harbinger Wars 2 104. You know, that whole spread. So
Yeah,
yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
right on, right on. Um, yeah, kind of a I don't know, not a super heavy news week. I mean, it's hard to feel too worked up about any news right now with Valiant after the whole DMG announcement.
Right. There might be some people thinking, you know, is this a move made by DMG? Maybe they pushed for it for the overall, you know, more sales, or was it a natural progression just, you know, from the talks?
So Travis says that Heisler is only writing the prelude. Um,
It didn't specify who was writing the Aftermath one. I think it's titled Aftermath, so you know, kind of a callback to Armor Hunters there. It didn't specify
but
who was
Heisler
writing
was
that.
the original announcement was that each issue of Harbinger Wars 2 is going to be 48 pages because it's 24 pages of Kint and I don't remember who was doing art, and then the other 24 pages was going to be Heiserer with Raul Allen and Patricia Martine. So
Okay.
that's my understanding, is that it's supposed to be a double issue like that, with Kent and Heiser each writing half of each issue. And if it's not that anymore, I didn't see that. But again, I only skimmed the article I read.
The article did say the prelude's going to be Heiserer and then Raul and Patricia, and then the main four will be Matt Kent and Tomas Giarello. And I
Hmm.
don't remember specifying for the epilogue or the aftermath one, but it was kind of vague. It didn't specify that the main series would be a shorter page run, just that the prelude was 32 pages.
Well, I really hope that they stick with that 48-page format. I thought that was such a cool idea. I really don't want to see them go away from that. Um, yeah, I don't know. That would suck if Heiser isn't writing half of the main story, because I was really looking forward to that Secret Weapons team doing some more. I really want, and I just mean the creative team. Obviously, if they bring the team from the Secret Weapons book, even better. But I mean, that creative team was amazing with Secret Weapons. So I'd love to see them do something else or go back to those characters. Either way, I think we as fans win.
Yeah, I agree. The books they crafted were beautiful, to put it plainly. But in that
Yeah.
CBR article, it also included an interview that their interview guy had with Matt and Eric, and it seemed they had extensive talks about the progression of the story. So who knows? Matt's writing 1 through 4, but we can't be sure of Eric's influence on that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Sean's saying that Heiser was just originally writing a backup story, but I remember them saying that it was going to be a full issue from each team. Like Heiser was going to write a 24-page issue for each 24-page issue written by Kent. So it's going to
Okay.
suck if that's not what we get. Um, who knows? Um, Either way, I just want the event to be awesome, regardless what the format is, who the creators are that are and aren't involved in it. I just want it to be awesome. But
Absolutely.
um, yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot else. Tor, I know that we on here kind of talked a whole bunch about our views on the DMG buyout. Is that something you have a strong opinion about, or where did you land on that whole thing?
Honestly, I don't have a strong opinion. It was shocking, I guess you could say. I hadn't seen it coming, but I also didn't know that they already had a 57% stake in the company. So obviously they've had a presence. And then realizing that those, Chinese issues had the DMG logo on it. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens when it happens.
Yeah, yeah, that's about all we can do. Um, so we've got two issues that we can review and run through those. This is a pretty awesome week. Having both a Ninja K issue and a Bloodshot issue drop this week is pretty awesome for me. Um, the thing that's crazy about it for me is, I've loved Lemire's Bloodshot run so much that it's crazy that I actually felt like I was kind of more excited for the Ninja K issue than for the Bloodshot issue. I don't know. Did you
Really?
have, before reading them, did you have different
Okay.
anticipation levels?
I was anticipating for both of them, honestly. Now, as far as their impact once I read them, I read Bloodshot first, so that kind of made me go, "Holy shit!" And then I didn't have as strong a reaction for Ninja K, but I would say I enjoyed it just as much. I didn't have as crazy
So
of a
before we
reaction.
get too much into the books, we are going to go into spoilers for anybody watching, anybody hanging out with us. Also, we do have the YouTube live chat, which a few people are chatting in. Feel free to ask questions. I'll try to keep an eye on it and add your voice to our conversation. Um, but yeah, the I don't know which one to talk about first. Do you care which one we talk about first?
Nope. Do you think?
Okay. Let's talk about Bloodshot first. Quick question. What are you drinking, bro? I see you taking shots.
Oh, vodka.
Nice.
I
Killer.
actually spilled one on myself earlier before we recorded. So alcohol abuse. I was, saying my apologies to you.
That's funny. Um, yeah, I've been trying to drink less, so I don't know. I don't know if we'll see me getting drunk on one of these live video chats. We'll see.
Oh yeah, you had some doozies before it was the live stuff.
It wasn't that bad.
No, like episode 25 and then like around 50. Other than that, you're good.
Yeah, just got smashed a couple times, but nothing too crazy. I don't know. We'll see if it happens on these live ones. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, so do you have a physical copy of Bloodshot Salvation #6?
Negative, I do not yet.
Chicka-cha. One thing that's cool, I always like when the cover art and the interior art are done by the same person.
Yeah, Renato.
So,
Oh my lord. And
yeah,
he's
so I
one of
was
the
a big fan
artists.
of, huh?
He's one of the artists I've noticed that handle both, like they paint it. I think Clayton Crane is another one that does that. So there's no, inker and then colorist. But his
Yeah, yeah. His style, like, what was that first book that he did? I think it was the Bloodshot Reborn Zero was like one of the probably the first Valiant book that he did. Um,
Yeah, I can't say. I don't remember.
and it wasn't painted like this, and I really didn't like it. And it's taken me a bit to warm up to his art. And I still am not 100% sold on all the pages in this book, but I will say that this spread,
Yep.
I don't know how
What?
well you can see that with the glare and stuff,
Ooh.
but yeah, that spread with
Yep.
Magic and Bloodshot and Ninjak, um, and Bloodhound. I just thought that was probably my favorite page in the entire book. And there were a couple other panels and pages that really jumped out at me, but I think that one. The other thing that's going through my mind when I'm reading this series is that Ray is a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely, yeah. But it
He's
doesn't really seem it's intentional. It's like he's a little kid.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he just gets so caught up in what he wants to do that he just like forgets about everything else. Like, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to even what to even say about it. Um, he ran out on Magic, and then as soon as he comes back and makes it seem like okay, they're gonna finally figure shit out, and he runs out on her again. You know, what a dick.
Yeah, but the what is it? Like when he came back, he had a lot of remorse. Like he felt bad, and I think that was well. Are you gonna do like a run through of it, or
Go for it.
oh, just because his nanites were shut off? And before he was, he wanted to get Bloodshot away from him, but he still had the option there. Like he could turn Bloodshot at any time. Whereas when he went to Daddy's, he didn't have a choice. Omen shut him off. So I think says something a little bit about him. Like he was trying to be Ray, but didn't have to be Ray if he didn't want to. Whereas in this case, coming back, he was Ray. He wasn't Bloodshot anymore.
Yeah, he couldn't wait to get those nanites turned back on. You
Hmm.
know, and Magic. Yeah, I mean, Magic called him out. She said,
Oh,
you always talk about leaving the past behind us, and you can't help but be Bloodshot all the time. And it's totally true. He just wants to
hmm.
like take all the problems in his hands and solve them by shooting and punching things and then
And I
healing.
mean, you can't blame him if you had that option. You'd do the same.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'd like to think I wouldn't be quite as ridiculous,
Well,
you
maybe
know?
not as poorly. Like if you're going into it with your current outlook on life, you gotta have better head on your shoulders. Whereas he, everything imploded and he has to go from square one.
Yeah, I mean, he did I don't know, he did start out with a raw deal, when he was being controlled by PRS and stuff. I I asked in the live chat if Bloodshot is the biggest asshole in the Valiant universe, and
No, definitely not.
who's the biggest asshole?
Torque.
Oh my god. Oh, well, he's not in a currently active book, so I'm not going to count him. But he is a great answer.
Right.
I fucking hate that dude. um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is it's a good book. Um, I just feel like it honestly, like the way that you said, you read Bloodshot first and it kind of overshadowed Ninja K for you a little bit. I read
Yeah.
Ninja K first, and that one kind of overshadowed Bloodshot for me. So
Right.
I felt like Ninja K um, had a more powerful plot line to it, and like character interactions and stuff. Not that this one wasn't powerful, but I don't know. It's tough,
I
man. And
honestly, well, since you read Ninja K first, we have a different perspective on it. Now, I didn't have a physical copy, and the cover that came in the preview, it wasn't the cover you had. There was no Shadow Man on it. So I wasn't expecting Shadow Man. So I
yeah,
was
this is
like,
the B
holy
cover
crap,
that I have.
because or no, before they went and met him, he just said, or Ninjak just said, I have a place I can take you, and yada yada. But it wasn't until I guess it made that shift where he said, I don't know if he got it. I was thinking maybe Punk Mambo at first because she's been kind of
Yeah,
more prevalent in the universe. So that was a pleasant surprise that it was Shadow Man for me anyway.
yeah. I thought that was going to be Punk Mambo as well. I was anticipating her. And I was reading the issue or the copy with cover B, which has Shadow Man on it. So I wasn't even thinking. I just knew that this is leading up to the Dead Side arc,
Yeah.
Book of the
Oh
Dead or
yeah.
whatever. And so I knew that this was going to involve the Dead Side. I figured that was why Shadow Man was on the cover because he's going to be in upcoming issues, I believe.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think that I don't know, this is a good book, but it's not great. I mean, we've definitely gotten better from Lemire with this character, and I'll also say that, like I said, I think that there's some really awesome art in this book, but there are also some things about this style that I just don't love. So for me, oh, I got a psycho cat running around. For me, um, I would probably give this book a 4. I mean, that's still a solid score, but not as high as I normally score a lot of Bloodshot stuff.
Yeah, that's a good score. I'd probably go about a 4.25. Um, Now, I personally I love the art, and I felt with going into the next issue, it's that all black issue
Yeah.
um, that Cantus did, right? I believe he has done the art on it, like the whole issue. I felt it was a good transition going from Renato's style into what this next issue is apparently being with that last page. It made me feel like it was watercolor, maybe. So I think that painting, the look that actual paintings have, going into like a watercolor style was a good transition from this issue into the next.
Yeah, I liked the making the last page of this similar to what the next issue is going to be.
Hmm.
Um, and I know that I actually have had issue 7 for Bloodshot Salvation longer than I've had issue 6
Really?
because they sent the review copy early.
Damn.
Um, So I know, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
I wanted to read issue 6 first.
My shop
Um,
owner said he was underwhelmed, but he's kind of,
with 7?
yeah, he's kind of a stick in the mud with some things. Like I got him hooked on Valiant, but other things like he not everyone likes Magic the Gathering, but I've gotten into it and he's like, I don't like it. Why? I don't like numbers, something like that. And he won't order me my blank comics. So
Weird.
yeah. Oh,
Weird.
it'll be good nonetheless. I like what Kent's been doing with Bloodshot.
You mean Lemire?
Yeah, my bad.
Good job. Way to
Yep.
go. Um, Yeah, Lemire's killing it on Bloodshot Salvation. But
Mhm.
so the next book that we can talk about here, we got some chat about it in the live chat.
Ooh,
Uh, Ninja K #4, the Sweet Ninja G issue.
did you get that from your local shop?
I did.
Did they bake and board them for you, or did
No,
you do that?
no, I beg and board him. Um, but I thought this issue was awesome. My only complaint, I used to not like Juan Jose Reap's art, but I've really come around on it, even more so than Renato Gaitis. But I will say, like, his faces in this looked so much like his faces from Britannia. It was a little
Yeah,
frustrating for me.
that was a definite thing. I thought when he first showed Ninja G, I thought it was a killer at first, just because I was so excited to read it,
Yeah.
from Britannia.
Mm-hmm.
But the man does mayhem and chaos just phenomenally. Like
Yeah, he does. There's no doubt about that. Um, yeah, he does bloodshed like just about nobody else.
bloodshed and viscera, teeth flying.
Yeah, dude. Um, what I thought was so great about this book was Ninja G is an amazing character. She's such a strong woman, and kind of the way that she forced herself into the position that she was, because she wouldn't let herself be taken advantage of. And then
Yeah, I
of
like that
course,
character building.
yeah, and then of course that strength turned around and bit her in the ass, when the she decided to be in a relationship with Thomas and he ends up getting killed. Um, yeah, I thought that it was really so well done. And one of the comments in the live chat is just how dense each issue of Ninja K has been, and that's really true. It's been extremely full of story. Like it doesn't feel like there's any filler. A lot of times when you get a comic with a lot of action, the action pushes story out of the way, and I really have not felt that at all with the Ninja K book.
I would agree. And with this issue, I don't believe with the first three we had backups, and we had a little backup story here. So it was what 33 pages. Has
No, there
that
were
been the
backups in
norm?
them.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, they were doing the Ninja A story.
Oh, okay, maybe I just didn't pay enough. Well, in this one, yeah, it was just whoa,
My
fucking
cat just
shit up,
knocked a bunch of
man.
stuff over.
Yeah, I guess I didn't notice them in the first three. I hadn't really expected it in this one. I did really like that. But another
You
thing I
did
like.
like it or you didn't like it?
No, I did. I did. Well, because I hadn't expected it. I was like, oh, there's all this extra. I haven't noticed that the previous issues were as long. Like this was 33 pages. But another thing I liked was Ninja G and her, I guess you could say, arch nemesis. I'm not Russian. Devochka, the girl.
Yeah.
And, I drew some parallels with them and what was it, Ninja D and his arch nemesis lady, and how if they
Madam
both weren't so
Charade.
yeah, if they weren't so crazy, they would have ended up together. But I liked how Ninja G ended up. Devoshko was her partner, and they kind of made their own thing.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool as well. I thought that was a nice touch. Um, it just I think that the level to which Ninja G was humanized in this issue, like um just like in the first issue, um, in that issue alone, I fell in love with Ninja D as a character, and then he got killed.
Yeah,
So I'm really happy that after making me fall in love with Ninja G as a character, that he didn't kill her at the end of the issue because that would have really bummed me out.
yeah, definitely. But I feel she'll probably be around again. There's that nice little moment with her and Devochka. Do you miss it? Not, not at all. And she threw the knife at her, so her skills are still there. So there's the possibility we might see her again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up, if she kind of gets brought back into the fold. Um, I like the kind of twist that this is taking, where in those first couple of issues, it was really, Ninjak hunting down whoever was killing Ninja affiliates or whatever. And it turns out to be Ninja C. And now Ninja C is kind of drawing him into this. And, because Ninjak has never really been a huge fan of MI6, right?
Yeah,
I remember during Kent's run, Neville was trying to get Colin to sign up and actually be an employee of MI6. And he said, no, I'll just keep doing my own thing.
right.
Um, but yeah, so I think that kind of playing on that, and then also the fact that I mean, Ninjak is a ninja spy, and this book is filled to the brim with ninjas and spies and ninja spies. So I don't know. I'm actually absolutely loving this.
Yeah, like there's nothing I can knock about it.
Yeah. I think it's probably, honestly, like, as much as this pains me to say because I'm such a huge Bloodshot fan, I would say Ninja K is the best book that Valiant is putting out right now.
I don't know if I can say the same thing, but I don't think I could say what's the best book because I like them all kind of, evenly.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, well, I haven't taken a dump in a while, so I'm full of it.
No, I need you to give me your favorite series being published right now. Number one.
Ugh,
Hit me.
what's ongoing right now? EXO, Bloodshot, Ninja K, Quantum and Woody.
Um,
Shadow Man
yeah, what
starts
else
next
is,
month.
huh?
Shadow Man starts next month.
Yeah,
I haven't read Ninjak vs. the Valiant Universe yet. Uh,
yeah.
fuck, man. Ugh, man, I can't, I just can't,
Lame. It's lame. Ninja K is mine, man. I think it's the best book that is coming out right now. Um, I do think that the art in this, while still great in this issue, it's not quite Tomas Girello levels of great. Um, so for me, this issue probably ends up coming in. I'm going to say a 4.5. Very, very strong book. Um, really, really enjoyed it. The character development was good. I liked that it was driving the main story while also heavily focusing on the history of Ninja G as a character.
yeah, I would agree. Man, it's hard to pick a score because while I don't view Ninja K as like my favorite book, it's an exceptional book, and I'm excited for what's coming. But I can say that for everything that's coming out right now. Eternity just ended, but there's the possibilities for so much more. Bloodshot's going to the dead side. Now this next book is going to be he's blind, but for whatever's coming after that, EXO, he's coming back to Earth soon. Harbinger Wars is starting. So yeah, 4.5, and I just love the book. I'm a big fan of Juan Jose Reap, just like Josh, and I like that he's not necessarily doing past stories because that's kind of been his MO, things that have
Sure.
happened in the past. So it's nice to see him doing current timeline. So yeah, excited for what's coming.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there is yeah, with Shadow Man starting, new Quantum and Woody creative team. Um, and then yeah, like you said, Harbinger Wars 2 is coming. I really hope that we also get another announcement soon with uh some more new books for 2018. Usually Valiant for the last few years has, announced a big publishing push and initiative and given us a bunch of cool new stuff throughout each year. So I really hope we get something like that. Shadow Man would be a great book to start with, and hopefully we just continue getting more new stuff after that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd really like to see that. Now we do have Comics Pro coming up, so they might make an announcement there. And I've seen that Dinesh is supposed to be the keynote speaker for that event. I don't know if he'll talk about Valiant or whatever, but because after the beginning of Harbinger Wars 2, we don't have anything, you know, in stone, so to speak, that's been announced.
right.
Shadow Man's the most recent ongoing that'll be starting, but we haven't heard anything else as far as Psylord's return of Britannia, Savage we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, it'd
There's
be nice
that
to
Archer
see
and
another Rise story. Yeah, Archer and Armstrong.
yeah,
We don't have a Faith book right now.
right. And
Um,
speaking of Faith, with the end of Faith in the Future Force, I thought it was a little odd that the Shadow Man that was pulled into the story was the 4001 Shadow Man. Like the giant female version. It was cool. It's just considering that Shadow Man's kind of come back into the fold that it wasn't a more current version.
I think it was nice to just get um, more acknowledgement that some of those characters still exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
um, and that they still are in the timeline somewhere. And then also, I mean, if you have the ability to put a team together from throughout time, but you only pick people from your era, you're probably doing something wrong.
yeah, exactly. What
um,
speaking of Shadow Man in Bloodshot Salvation, they had that little blurb on the page that specified that these events are happening before Shadow Man #1.
yeah,
And I thought that was real cool to kind of get a feel of, you know, where Bloodshot is as far as what's happening to him and the chronology of the universe.
yeah. Well, and I think that it's part of that is that they want to roll the new Shadow Man, because he's going to have a new look. I think that he's going to have a bit of a new attitude than what we've seen from him previously. So I think that it makes sense to kind of throw uh, the Magpie, the old version of Shadow Man, into this, and let the new version of Shadow Man really take flight in his own book.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Man, so in the live chat, I don't know if you're watching the live chat. I'm always watching
I
it.
am not. I am not. I didn't think about
They're
it.
talking about all the, where a bunch of characters that we're not seeing right now. Um, you know, like,
Where characters
um,
are like as far as the timeline and what's
well,
going
like,
on,
because we
or
don't know well, we haven't seen Galad in a while. He went
you know,
to his afterlife at the end of Wrath of the Eternal Warrior, and we haven't seen him since.
and we don't even
Um,
necessarily know like at what time that was happening because he went to Eric, so his body was last being watched over by Eric, and we don't know like at what time that is in his story that
yeah.
happened.
Yeah, I mean, that was before the Torment, right? Like, it had to be before the Torment came around.
Oh yeah,
Um, So a bunch of shit has happened since then. Um, and then, like we haven't gotten a Britannia book for a while. It'd be nice to get a Britannia book.
yep.
And then of course Savage. Um, and
We know
then,
he's in New York. We don't know when.
yeah, and we don't know what else is going on. It would be super awesome to see more from that character.
Yep.
Um, Especially with the art team that they had on that book. I think it would be great to get another book with that same team, doing
Yeah.
a double timelines with different artists.
Yeah, Clayton Henry and Luz LaRosa.
And then we got an Armstrong book, right? Because we got that one shot at least from Fred Van Lente, The Vault of Spirits.
Yep.
Um, but I do think that doing some more with Archer and Armstrong and having Fred Van Lente at the helm would be cool. You know, Speaking of the Anipata brothers, it'd be great to see another Ivar book. He showed up in Vault of Spirits, and it just reminded me how much I want to see another Ivar book.
Yeah,
Um,
I wanna see all three of the brothers. I want a book with all three of the brothers, like even a mini ongoing, just because their presence in the Valiant universe is, an anchor, you could say. I love it.
yeah. Well, they're all such awesome characters, right? Like each of them has their own really awesome story, and then the way that they interact is pretty funny. So yeah, I think that giving kind of a snarky writer a shot at it would be, I think you could get some pretty awesome stories from that.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
and then, a couple other suggestions getting thrown out. Tama getting her own mini and a Roku book. I think both of those would be awesome. But the one that Josh and I have been calling for a really long time now, I want an Armorines mini.
I wanted to interject and say, well, you already got your Livewire book.
Right? Yeah, that um after the Livewire book, after Secret Weapons got announced, it was like, okay, we are getting the Livewire book. Now, what's the next one to harp on until it happens?
Right, right. I do agree. I think a Tama book would be good because where Rapture left off, she was letting that demon giant, whatever it was, free. So I think, she's getting into shenanigans in the dead side. That'd be pretty cool. But we might see her with Shadow Man or even in Bloodshot.
That's true. I don't, I don't know if I feel like Tama could carry a book on her own. Um, I think that she's a good side character, but I don't know. I don't think I would. I don't think I could picture her carrying her own book. Roku, however, I think could. And then the
Yeah.
other one, like I said, Armorines, I think would be really awesome to kind of bring some really fast-paced action to the Valiant universe. I think that's what the Armorines could do.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know the history of the Armorines, but you know,
Well, they were pretty much only in one arc of the Venditti Exo run.
okay. Well, I know they had a run in, the '90s, but I don't really remember them too much from the XL run.
Yeah, they were really only around in that one arc. The guy that created them went bad, and Arik had to kind of take him down. But the Armorine still exists. They were kind of in the background in a few other arcs in the Exo run
Okay.
from Venditti. So
All right. Yeah, it would be nice to see them expand on them. And, with what you're saying about Tama, about her not being able to carry a book, I do kind of agree at this point, just because we haven't really seen a whole lot of her. We don't really know. We don't know Tama as much as maybe we'd like.
I just feel like in order to really carry a book, you need a lot of depth to the character and history. And I
Yeah.
don't think that with Tama kind of being out of her own time, I don't know that you could really um, build a story around that. I think that she works really well the way that they used her in Rapture.
Yeah.
She helped set the story in motion. She helped keep the plot moving. She was an important part of the story, but she didn't have to carry the whole thing on her own. So I think that seeing her, like if Galad comes back and we get to see him team up with Tama again, something like that, since she is the
Well,
Geomancer.
and I was just thinking that that might be a good option for a 4001 timeline because when she first appeared, did it specify what time she came from? Do you remember? Because
No, I don't remember specifically.
if she came from the 4001 timeline, that might be a good book to expand on that time and have that older Galad, you know, finding Tama and then training her up until her being sent back in time.
Right. Yeah, kind of get some of her background. But again,
Yep.
I think that that would make sense in a team book with both Tama and Galad. I think it would be
Yeah.
hard to pull it off the same way if it was just Tama. And maybe that's just
Right. I'm
me.
saying maybe if we
Um,
got that first and then that could lead into, a Tama centric book.
sure, sure. Yeah, I still think that now that we got a Livewire centered book, I think that as much as I do want our Marines, I also think that the character who would best be served by having her own mini is Roku. I think that that would be a really, really good idea. Who actually suggested that? Oh, David. David suggested that.
All right.
Um, yeah, I think that would be awesome. But yeah, I don't know too much else. We were gonna talk about that book Sideways, but I was too behind. I didn't even get to read it.
Oh, you
So
haven't read it yet? Oh,
I
shit.
forced you to read it for no reason. Sorry about that, Tor.
No worries. We can talk about it later.
Well, tell me this: did you read Damage and Silencer?
I did not because I was reading Sideways and then Ninja K and Bloodshot.
What a dick.
Yeah, well, fucking A. I got time.
um, no, I don't know. I've really been enjoying this New Age of DC Heroes, so stoked about the Sideways book. The coolest thing about it is in this whole the New Age of DC Heroes, they've got a lot of former Valiant creators working on the books. Like Damage is written by Robert Menditti.
All right.
Um,
Justin Jordan is
Sideways.
working on Sideways.
Yep, Justin Jordan's working on Sideways. Jeff Lemire is writing a couple of the books. Um, yeah, Alterna is saying Silencer was really good. I actually really like Silencer a lot. I thought both Silencer and Damage were a lot of fun, but I would say of the two of them, Silencer was probably better.
All right, now I got to read those two to see how it stacks up against Sideways.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I thought that they were both good. I'm excited to read Sideways. Um, I'm wondering if yeah, no, everything's working right. I don't know. Sorry, I got a weird comment in the live chat about no video, but
Weird.
there's video. It's live.
Well, fuck. I see you, you see me.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you got any other topics that we could talk about. Have you read anything else good lately?
Nope, I got nothing for you. I did, well, not necessarily reading, but I bought that Divinity hardcover,
Oh, nice.
which that baby is massive. And then I also bought the Ivar hardcover because it was still available through Diamond. So shop ordered it, I bought it.
I'm sorry, you bought which one? Ivar?
Yep, yep.
That's cool. I
Which
need
means I
that.
can give my trades to someone to be like, here, read this story.
Yeah. Um, so I've been reading a lot of, or not even reading, listening to a lot of audiobooks lately,
Okay.
because I do a fair amount of driving. And I don't know if you've ever read any comics by Greg Hurwitz.
Oh,
Um, he has written some DC stuff. I know he wrote some Batman stuff. He wrote a Penguin story that I've ranted and raved about a couple times, Penguin Pain and Prejudice. It's really
okay.
good. Um, but he writes novels as well, and he's got this series called Orphan X series that I've been diving into lately. That's been really fucking good, and I think that would be an amazing comic book series. It's also really good as a novel, but if
Is it
anybody
just
wants
one
any,
book or a few? How many books?
I think that there are like three so far, with another short story that ties in after the first book.
All right. How many pages, give or take?
I have no idea. I'm listening to it as an audiobook. It's
All right.
like 11 and a half hours, 12 hours
Damn. Per book or total?
per book. Yeah, the first book that I'm listening to right now is, yeah, it's like I don't know, I'm like 6 hours in, so I'm like halfway done. It's fucking
Nice.
crazy. But definitely something I would recommend if anybody out there is into audiobooks. Um but yeah, anybody in the live chat, you guys got any other topics that we can chat about? Because I'm pretty much running out, and I don't know too much else. Uh Invincible ended. Tor, have you read any Invincible?
No, I only read Valiant.
You got to read some other shit too, man.
Well, well, I guess I read that Deadpool Punisher comic. That was good.
That was
And
good.
I've gotten some others. I was getting Venom for a bit before they went back to legacy numbers. So I was like, oh, Venom number one, sweet. And then they switched, so I just got out of that. I've gotten some Rick and Morty books and a bunch of Doctor Who, but I've just been kind of like compiling them, not really reading them.
Yeah, um, start reading Alterna comics. Oh, that's why it's Alterna Comics Fan One. Oh my God, I'm just now figuring out the username in here. Oh, oh my God, that's why it's Alterna. Okay. I've actually
Tell them
heard
the
good things
link.
about Alterna Comics. I know Josh loves Alterna Comics and he supports them. That's probably something I should really jump on. Um, oh, yeah. I don't know. That's something I'll probably have to jump on. Um, I don't know. I like reading, anything that I can, have a reasonable expectation is not going to suck.
Yeah,
Um,
right. You can only read
but
so much though, because money that adds up quick.
yeah, well, I mean, if you really need to, there are other ways to find comics, like borrowing them from friends.
Yeah, true.
Um, ooh,
There's always an
have
end.
we read Black Hammer? Have you read any Black Hammer, Tor?
No, but I've seen you talk about it. Lemire writes that, doesn't he?
That's correct. Yeah. Um, yeah. Black Hammer is really crazy good.
Okay.
The the story is just so weird. It's really unlike pretty much any comic I can think of that I read. I'm sure somebody could come up with something similar, but yeah, it's really good. Um,
Is it like
it's
sci-fi, horror, action? What? Everything?
it's like kind of like a it's retro is what it really is. It's like Lemire has made his own version of Golden Age superheroes and then put them in this situation where they're like stuck on a farm in a little town and they can't leave.
Huh.
Um, and it's really weird.
Damn. That does sound
And you
interesting.
yeah, like you don't know what's going on. And so slowly as the series has crept along, you've, found out little by little what's been going on. Um, and yeah, it's still really, really interesting. Um, yeah, so that's definitely something that I would recommend.
How many issues is
Yeah.
that on?
Well, they did 13 issues of Black Hammer. Now it's like 3 or 4 issues into Sherlock Frankenstein and the Legion of Doom, and then another one is coming, like Doctor Tomorrow or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. So it's
Okay.
like it's been these little like tie-in books that have all followed the story from the main book, from the Black Hammer story.
All right,
Um,
that's pretty sweet. Who publishes that?
it's Dark Horse.
Okay.
Um, so definitely something that I recommend. Um, Yeah, I don't know. There's a whole lot of other stuff. Like I said, we were going to talk about Sideways because I've really been, like, as I said a bunch of times already, liking this new age of DC heroes. I think it's a good idea for, an established publisher like DC to try to create fresh new characters. That's one of the big reasons I love Valiant so much is that they're not stuck to 70 years of publishing history and trying to work every new story around impossibly conflicting backstories. You know, Valiant allows some fresh new ideas, and they take risks with their characters. So that's what I'm really hoping for from this new age of DC heroes, and that's why I also like reading so much Image and other creator-owned stuff like Black Hammer. Lemire owns all the characters; he can do whatever he wants with any of them. So if he thinks that
Nice.
it serves the story to kill one, he doesn't have um, a publisher telling him, no, you can't do that. He doesn't have people owning the character saying, well, we got a movie with this character coming out, you can't kill him. You
Right
know,
on.
so, but yeah, that's why I like reading the creator own stuff. So that's what I always recommend to people.
Yeah, I just
Um,
recently read the first trade of Descender, that Lemire
oh yeah,
writes
that was really good.
on Image. I think it's still ongoing. I got to get more of it because that first trade got me hooked. Art style, I was a little iffy on at first, but I like the story a lot. And like,
Yeah,
the
yeah, I read
stories
that
going
first
forward.
trade as well. That was really interesting. I haven't read any more beyond that. Um, Yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff. We could probably talk about good comics all day. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot of other topics. Thanks, Tor, for coming on and filling in for Josh when he wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, Eric, thanks for having me. I always like being on and talking Valiant. I don't do it enough.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely can have you on again, no problem. Um, yeah, and that goes for other people too. We're always for having guests. Nothing wrong with, bringing new, fresh blood on and getting some new perspectives on the books. I want to thank you everybody for watching that's been watching. Sorry, Sean, that you've had video problems. Thank you everybody for hanging out in the live chat. Alternative Comics fan and Travis and Sean and David and yeah, had some good chats this time around. But yeah, I suppose we'll see you guys next time. We'll be back next week. I believe Josh will be here next week. I will have actually read Sideways by then. Maybe we'll just have you come back on again, Tor, and you can talk about the book I forced you to read.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, man. Man, I definitely have some things to say about it, but I want you to read it.
Oh man, I gave you some comic book blue balls there, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Like you kind of got my rocks going, but I can handle it.
All right, all right. Well, yeah, cool. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Tor, for being on. Signing off. I'm Eric Baumgard.
I'm Tor Jones. Thanks for having me, guys.
And later, peeps.